This is a song called I Am a Predator. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Warning. I chain smoke and I say fuck a lot. But I accept myself for the way I am. I accept you too. Viewer discretion advised.
Intense hunting and touring schedule left little time for his domestic life. At home, a distance was growing between Ted and his wife Sandra.
Maybe I was on the road too much. Maybe she felt that I wasn't around enough when she was pregnant and had the kids. So for whatever reason, she gave up on the marriage.
Adding to their problems, Ted says Sandra was struggling with an addiction to drugs and alcohol, while he was fighting a losing battle with his own addiction, his weakness for young women.
First off, I want to thank whoever sent me this article. I like to give credit where credit's due, and I searched and searched. I don't know if it was a fucking email, messenger, or what, but I can't find it, so I apologize for that. I get an overwhelming amount of support and, ideas for videos, and I do appreciate it all. Sometimes I get a little lost, but I really couldn't do it without all the help, so thank you. Ted Nugent's jailbait problem. From the Huffington Post, in the case of Nugent, we have even come to see alleged child sex abuse as some sort of harmless vice. Can you imagine anyone else who has been accused of having sex with a 12-year-old, written a song about raping a 13-year-old, and adopted a 17-year-old so he could have sex with her, going on to campaign alongside all the most conservative family values candidates?
What would be a description of your music?
Well, I think the titles pretty much say it all. I give a lot of time and concentration in my lyrics, Mm-hmm. I feel it's really a important display of my art form.
Uh-huh.
Songs like Wang Dang Sweet. I'm a compassionate kind of guy.
When Ted Nugent was 32 years old, he released the song Jailbait. Here's a taste of the lyrics, written by him.
I don't care if you're just 13. You knew it too good to be true. I just know the judge is probably clean. 'Cause everything I got to do to you. It's alright, I asked your mama. She said it's quite alright. Just be nice. Be nice. Go ahead, Ted. Go ahead. It's okay. It's alright. Hey, wait a minute, officer. Wait a minute, officer. Don't put those handcuffs on me. Put them on her. And I'll share with you.
What the fuck?
I like it so much. I like it so much. I like it. I like it. I like it.
I was monogamous around the clock. Kinda.
Young girls were infatuated with Ted, and when his willpower was put to the test, he failed miserably.
Oh, they were just everywhere. You had to get a crowbar, just pummel them. Knock them off the doorknob. They were hanging on your lingai. Yes, it could have been whiskey, it could have been drugs, but no, I was a wang-dang addict. I mean, I was addicted to girls. Addicted. It was hopeless. It was beautiful.
2 years before recording Jailbait, Nugent had the novel idea of becoming legal guardian to a 17-year-old girl so they could have sex without, her parents having legal recourse.
Soon after his divorce, Ted found a new love, a young girl from Hawaii named Pele Masa.
She was like a dream, a fantasy, exotic dream of mine to meet her.
Ted was 30 years old, Pele just 17.
I was underage, and even back in the wild 70s, it just really wasn't a terribly appropriate situation in most people's eyes. And now it would be criminal.
Ted admits to a number of liaisons with underage girls, and while it may have raised eyebrows, it never raised the interest of local authorities. Ted charmed the girls' parents right along with his teenage lovers. And in the case of Pele, her mother signed papers making Ted her legal guardian.
I got the stamp of approval of their parents. Because they figured better Ted Nugent than some drug-infested punk in high school.
Critics saw Ted's Tarzan routine as a cartoon. To them, Ted the Caveman was beginning to look like a cultural Neanderthal.
I guess I just got to realize I just never get to eat all that out there.
Instead of listening to his guitar, they heard his mouth. And they didn't like a lot of the times his kind of arrogant macho attitudes. If he's talking so loud about all this stuff, how could they hear his guitar? How could they hear his music?
I'm a mouth. No, I just say what comes spewing forth. If you don't have a sense of humor, you'll hurt yourself getting angry at me.
And then on Howard Stern, Courtney Love alleges that she gave the Nuge a blowjob when she was 12.
One of the first times you gave sex was with Ted Nugent. You went backstage, you claim.
And he hates me, and he can't remember it.
And you gave him oral sex.
Yeah, I was in my peer group, and they were groupies, and...
And you did it. You did that for Ted Nugent.
How old were you? 16 or something?
12?
Pretty young. I don't want to talk about it.
Be honest, how old were you?
I don't want kids to know how old I was.
But I think that's important so that we understand.
No, I don't think that anybody needs to know the age back then in the, like,
how old were
50s.
You? No, how old were you when you gave Ted Nugent the sex?
Really young. 12? I didn't have breasts yet.
You're kidding.
No.
Oh, that's sick.
It's sick.
How old were you?
The 11? One he said before. No, the one he said.
12
and a half.
You were 12 and a half?
Yeah, but I mean, like that, I had a disgusting, I was in juvenile hall.
If you examine how I conduct myself, I don't think a day goes by in my life for many, many years now that we don't do charity work for children. I offer you this. Have you done a lot of interviews?
Decent number.
Call me when you sit down across from someone who has more families with dying little boys and girls who get a call to take them on their last fishing trip in life. Call me when you meet someone who does that more than I do, because that's really moderate. In fact, you know what that is? That's extreme. I'm an extremely loving, passionate man, and people who investigate me honestly, without the baggage of political correctness, ascertain the conclusion that I'm a damn nice guy.
Wait a minute. Dude, I've investigated you for like 10 minutes with no political correctness, and all I see is that you like young girls.
And if you can find a screening process more powerful than that, I'll or how's that sound?
We have no idea where that unexpected outburst came from. The second part of it directed to a female CBS News producer.
Fucking stoned. I got